Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. Our show is business, events, and cool stuff. If you're cool or you have a business or some kind of event, we want you on the show to talk about it. We want to let everybody know that we're going on despite COVID. Just come, go to our web channel, CentralValleyTalk.com, and click I'd like to be a guest. Fill out a little form. Next thing you know, you're on the show. We want you. We need you. We need to fill all these spots. You don't have to come to the studio anymore. You can just Skype in or Facebook Messenger in. We'll get you on somehow. Now, our next guest is, I call her the craft lady, Kaden. She has a show here on Central Valley Talk called With Kaden. And welcome.
Welcome.
Pull your microphone a little closer there.
Okay.
And
hello, way over there.
Yeah, it looks like we're sitting right by each other, but honest, Mom, I'm staying way away from Kaden, probably about 10 feet apart, so we're being safe. So how you been? We haven't seen you for weeks. Are you still doing crafts?
I'm still crafting. In fact, last night I sat at the kitchen table with my daughter. She got evacuated from home, North Fork, due to Creek Fire. Yeah. And she and I were sitting around the kitchen table crafting last night. It was great. It was so much fun.
And by the way, if you're watching the show 10 or 20 years from now, because we leave them out there forever, we have first COVID going on.
Yes.
Disaster, shut down our economy. Now we've got these giant fires up in the hills. We've got a big election coming up. Which is kind
when
of
it rains, it pours.
Crazy on it. So, but there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
There is. It is definitely a
so
crazy
your daughter
time.
had to evacuate.
Yes.
What area did she live in? Or
lives on the what would they call? I guess the west side of North Fork, right outside of town. And yeah, it's been pretty scary.
Did North Fork burn? Or?
And it has not gotten into town yet.
But there's a lot of old, dry buildings there.
Yes, it's an old town. I grew up originally from Oakhurst, so I spent a lot of time in North Fork and South Fork, and some of the areas that have burned, Shaver Lake and by Cressman's and stuff, it was all areas that I grew up in. Yeah. So we
all grew up going through Cressman's, waving at that guy that sat out there, and it's really sad.
It really
to see
is.
The pictures.
It's heartbreaking. It's one thing last year, the other year, to see the fires. They were away, and you don't know the territory and the people. This is my home stomping grounds. This is where I'm originally from. So, yeah. Yeah,
and a lot of us went up to Shaver, Huntington, Edison through our lives. You know, we know the area well. So I guess we have to wait till it clears out to find out the extent of the damage.
Yeah, they're not there yet. I know Bass Lake is under evacuation warnings. I grew up playing around Bass Lake, and I've got friends who are, their cars packed, ready to go. My daughter didn't wait for the order. She just
didn't wait. Yeah, just
she
grab
came on
the
down.
thing so valuable to you and just go. It's
yeah.
better than risking it. So, well, tell us about crafting. I see a purple thing, a yellow ball.
I did bring the thing I do with Kaden is I love to have guests who come in from nonprofits to talk about their programs, and if they have an event coming up, they can advertise it. While we're talking, since people have a tendency to get very uncomfortable in front of a camera, which clearly I don't have a problem with, I try to sidetrack them a little bit with a simple craft. They don't have to be crafty people, but we just do a simple craft together, enjoy an adult beverage, which I guess I should have brought. I'm sorry, Mike. And this is the sort of thing that we do while we're talking. They have a craft to take home, so they have a memory for the day. And what I thought I would do, I had the opportunity to work with the Central California Animal Disaster Team at their locations where they're taking in animals, people's pets who've had to flee the fires. And there was a lot of dogs and cats and ducks and chickens and a snake and rabbits. But I thought a dog toy might be kind of fun. And this is something that you can make and really won't cost you anything because you probably have the stuff. And this is just a real simple little dog toy. And you're going to take a tennis ball. This is a practice softball. Has a little bit of bounce to it. Take an old T-shirt, one that's maybe stained up, a good pair of cutting scissors, and you're going to make 3 cuts and
show me how you laid out the shirt first.
I laid it out in half.
Just folded it in half. Okay.
Just folded it in half.
You know, I was going to, I got to get rid of some stuff. I got all these T-shirts that seem okay, but I never ever wear them. Years have gone by and I've not worn them.
Oh, well then, yeah, it's time to get rid of them.
If I get a use for them, then...
This is just a real simple little project anybody can do. Okay. I took a tank top. Just because that's what I happened to have handy. I had purged my closet earlier, so this is what I had. And you want to go right underneath the armpit because you want to cut off, as you know, you can use your straight blade and a rotary cutter and make it nice and neat if you need to.
And most of us have that, right?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
if
You know
you
what
are a
it is.
crafter, you do.
Oh, we do, okay.
But you don't have to be a crafter for this. And then you're going to cut 3 more strips. Now, you only need the first one strip to be about 1 inch or so wide, and then the others will be more like 4, 5, 6 inches.
I can't picture how this is going to come out, but that's why I like to watch it happen.
Well, this is where on my show, I would have given you a pair of scissors and a shirt, and you'd have been doing this along with me.
Doing it with you.
While I would have been talking and asking questions about your nonprofit,
All right.
what fundraising you had coming up. It's some wonderful programs are out there, and people don't know about them, and I like being able to talk about them. Now, because this one has this little braiding down here on the bottom, I'm going to try nipping off a little bit of it, because I found out it really does get in the way more than it helps. So I'm just going to do a quick little nip.
By the way, if you're watching and you have a nonprofit or an event coming up or something you want people to know about, get a hold of Kaden, and she'll put you on her show.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you.
But she'll make you craft while you do it.
We'll have some fun. Our little disposal. You're going to take the 2 long, thicker strips, and you're going to make a little X.
Huh.
You're going to take your little ball, and now you're going to wrap them up.
Just pull all the sides up.
Just pull all the sides up. Try to make it as tight as you can. Tuck them in. I found it a little easier to kind of do a little bit of tucking, but wait until you finish tying it off. Then you're going to take your narrower strip, cut off the knot, and you only need about 4 inches here because this is very stretchy. And you're going to wrap it around a couple of times so that it's nice and tight. And this was where you get to use your muscles. And I'm an old woman and I can do it, so you can too. And you're going to tie a couple of knots. Get it up there. And you're going to just as tight as you possibly can. You're going to make 2 knots.
This is all manual. There's no sewing machine.
There's no sewing
apparatus
machine.
involved.
No, all you have to need are scissors, a ball, and a T-shirt.
Nice.
And you've got the beginning. I'd like to cut off the little bit of
The
extra.
extra. I can see a dog liking rather than just a ball. This thing's flapping behind when you throw the
And
ball.
you can play tug of war. You can throw fetch. So you get a lot of play time out of it. Now this is where the fun starts. You're going to take your shirt and you're going to cut the little tabs that we had just wrapped around. There's 4 of them. You're going to cut 3 strips in it.
It's starting to come together in my mind. I thought, how does she get that beautiful braided look coming down off of that?
This is how you do it. You're going to cut the strips and then you braid. And when you get down to the bottom, you're going to take a little bit of your thinner strap and tie it off. Clip up the edges so that it's nice and clean and neat.
You realize that about half of the population has never made a braid in their life?
It seems to me, well, if they have any girls in their family, yes, they have made a braid.
I had a daughter, but I never braided. I did a lot of hairbrushing. I was very good at it, but never braided.
My husband learned to braid because we had a daughter. We have a daughter. And he can even braid our granddaughter's hair.
Oh,
and
nice.
So he learned. And
Well, you're doing that. I'm going to make my own little
Yeah.
pitch. I'm 61 years old. I have no grandchildren. But I have 3 kids, marrying age. All right, that's my pitch for the day. Now you tie off the end of the braid.
you tie off the end, and you're going to do the same thing that you did. Oops, nothing like not wrapping it around. I suggest wrapping it around a couple of times. You really want it tight. You want to make sure it slows down the dog's destruction to the toy.
Will it be destructed eventually? But then you'll
If they're anything like my granddaughter's dog Cinch, he
Yeah.
can destroy anything that they say is not.
But then you still have the ball, and you
still
make
have-
another.
And you make another. You just take another T-shirt out of the drawer.
That is already coming out very
And that's
beautiful.
how you get your first little tug. And this is what you end up with.
End up with. All right. Well, we want, Karen has been off her show for a couple of weeks. Just we're all being separate and slowing down a little and taking it easy. But we're going to get her back, and we'll promote the heck out of it when you're coming.
A lot of nonprofits are getting very creative with their fundraising. They're doing it online.
Yeah.
And a really good way to promote that is come with me, come talk to me. And let's craft and let's talk about what you're doing. But let's talk about your project. Let's talk about your program and why you do it and where it's coming from. I came to Mike's attention because of Cases for Kids, my nonprofit that benefits foster children through donations of suitcases and toiletries. And kept coming back, and they finally, well, I met Mike 30-some years ago.
Oh, I forgot. I remember that just this second at Sierra Vista Mall.
Sierra Vista Mall.
You were doing all the promos out there or managing.
You came out to do the Christmas show, Christmas party, and that's how we met. And I've watched your development and your growth. And
I was
you've
a guitar player back then. That's
very good guitar player, too.
Well, listen, we want you back. We want you to do your show.
Thank you.
Let me say this, and here's an idea for your show. United Cerebral Palsy is doing their annual dinner, but you go online, you pay. It's only $60 for 2 dinners.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. And you pick up the dinner. So maybe you can do your first show with him, Roger Slingerman from UCP, and that's coming up pretty quick. So.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
And then we've got the technology. Now we're doing a lot of the shows, through Skype or Zoom or something.
My last show
up
with Kaden was on Skype. We did that
that's
through,
right.
and it worked out very well. She was a great guest.
Getting the signal. We're way out of time. Last thing you want to add?
Please contact me. I'm on Facebook with Kaden on CentralValleyTalk.com. You can find me. I'll answer the messages.
Nice.
Let me know how I can help you.
Very good. With Kaden is the Facebook. Facebook.com/with Kaden. It's on the screen there. Check her out. Call her up. Contact her. And we'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.